Greetings, video nerds. This is Tac Nerd 1.0. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a deep dive into what you see right here. This is the Sears Ranger 101.2 shotgun. This is in 20 gauge, and you probably know that I previously featured this shotgun as, we'll put the video right up here. As I purchased it, it was in dire need of some refinishing. So stay tuned, join me. We're going to look at this finished project, and we'll talk a little bit about the history of the firearm as well. Okay, so before we talk about the details of this now, well, much more beautiful firearm, we'll talk a little bit about Sears because there is some history there. At one point, Sears was the largest retailer in the United States.
I was there 3,000 years ago.
Obviously, no longer the case. Amazon has pretty much taken over for that. It offered a wide range of products, believe it or not, including firearms. You could walk into a Sears store and buy them, or you could order them and have them delivered to you. Prior to 1968, firearms such as this one, they were often sold in hardware stores or department stores like Sears, and they were not serialized. So in the mid-20th century, Sears introduced the Ranger line of firearms. And it included items like this. Now, the Sears line, the 101 line, I think there was a 101-16, there was a 101-12. This was the .20, so this is a 20 gauge. And this was probably produced, I think, between 30s and 60s. I think it stopped prior to that 1968 date. But here's the deal. Like many large retailers, this firearm, even though it was named Sears and it had this Ranger name to it, it was actually produced by Savage. And it's pretty much a copy of the Savage 238. So if you find one of these, or if you find a Savage and you need parts for it, parts are pretty much interchangeable. It's generally assumed they were of a little lesser quality than probably the Savage 238. Most likely that would be the type of wood. All right, so a little bit about the specifications of this shotgun. This is chambered in 20 gauge, ideal for hunting small game, squirrels, rabbits, such like that. Notably, which given the long barrel, it's probably perfect for squirrels in, I would say, spring or summertime. When the trees are in full bloom and they've got leaves everywhere, it's a little dicey to go after them with a 22. But with that being said, with the two-shot magazine, the long barrel, the full choke, this is pretty much ideal, or at least at the time, it was ideal for, I would say, turkey hunting or any waterfowl such as that. Recreational shooting is always in play, shooting clays or whatever at the range. But I have to tell you, I have tested this. It's got minimal butt pad here with the lightweight. This thing it's not the most pleasant thing to shoot at the range. So I don't know how much recreational shooting a person would be. Again, with a 28-inch barrel and a full choke, the Ranger, it's got great accuracy, great versatility, and if you're flushing out birds or you're breaking clays, it's going to deliver consistent performance. One of the standout features, I think, of this, the lightweight and just this solid bolt action. Now, I know bolt action shotguns are not something that's very popular or thought of these days. I know most people are going to use pump actions today, and nothing wrong with that. But this is a solid performer, and you would have no issue using this to hunt turkeys or, as I said, any kind of upland game. On to price. I purchased this shotgun for the low price of
100 Quatloos
at my local thrift store. And as you saw from the previous video, it was a big mess. There were several cracks in the frame. I'll try to find them here if we can get close and can get this thing to focus. Here we go. So you saw there were cracks here, went all up and through here and down. We had screws placed everywhere. Big one there. And then here, there was actually a bolt that went all the way through the entire gun. And I've still got this, which I'm not too happy about here. The rest of everything, I pretty much got taken care of. Was able to cover up some stuff there. And the wood looks pretty good now. And we used epoxy to do this. So there's not going to be any chance for this coming apart. It is solid at this point. As I said, the only thing I really don't like is this big ugly patch here. And I'm still trying to decide how I can get around that. And as you might be able to see, there's a little bit of material coming off here. At this point, the best thing to finish this is maybe get a piece of veneer to go all the way across and then sand that in. And that's going to be a problem. Trying to get the right kind of wood. Also trying to make sure all the grain works. The stain is the same color. Not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all. Magazine had been welded into the receiver, the magazine that was in there before this. Bolt was very sticky, very hard to move. After the epoxying and refinishing the stock, I bought a new magazine at Numerich Gun Parts. Great place for finding parts for older firearms, by the way. Got the action slicked up, used a little mother's polish on it. No problem at this point, just purrs like a kitten. Now, as I said, from what I purchased this, the original price, if you look back in some of the, and I'll bring in some ads and stuff here, it was anywhere from $30 to $50. I would say probably more near the 30. But if you compute that, accounting for inflation, $30 from around 1950, in today's dollars, it's going to be over $300. So that does make this about average for a cheaper to mid-range shotgun today. A well-made, cheaper to mid-range shotgun. So, I don't know. I guess you can say that even considering inflation and all of that, prices for this kind of stuff generally stay about average, the way things go. In conclusion, what do I want to say about this? First off, this was a really fun project, and I have to say I really like this shotgun a lot. I do take it to the range and shoot it quite a bit. I have hunted squirrels with it, and I am planning on going after some rabbits if I can find some. And I really enjoy these older rifles and shotguns. I really like having the wood stocks. Not that I don't love polymer, but everything is polymer these days, and I'm just kind of sick of it, to be quite honest. Everything's polymer, everything's black, or flat dark earth, or some weird camo dip color. These firearms just have a timeless appeal to them. And again, you can get these things pretty darn cheap from thrift stores or pawn shops. Now, granted, if you find one in better shape and the one that doesn't need fixing, it's probably going to be more than
100 Quatloos.
It's still worth the money, in my opinion. Now, the Sears version, the Ranger, like this one, the collectability of that one is probably going to be much less. The Savage, the 238, collectability on that one is probably going to be more. If you can find one, I would highly recommend grabbing it. As far as the stock and everything goes there, you know, I brought that, and I'll pull in a few pictures here and there. We got this sanded all the way down, refinished it with, I think it was Minwax, I think it was just gun stock, and then finished that with boiled linseed oil, and then polished it. Polished up the stock with Mother's, and looks nice. Looks really nice. And we did go over and do just some light touch-ups on the barrel with some cold bluing. Not a lot. It really didn't need that much because as it came to me, it was still, the bluing was still fairly dark. But it's got a few edges here. Those are just wear marks. And to be quite honest, I think they look great. All right, so folks, that is it. Thank you for joining us on this journey, bringing you this timeless example of a department store gun that you used to be able to get back in the day. Be sure to stay tuned for our upcoming videos. I actually have another one, something similar to this. I've got a 22 coming in that should be pretty barn fresh. We're going to try to refinish as well. So everyone, like, share, and subscribe, and everybody stay nerdy out there. Tech Nerd signing out.